is with great pleasure that I announce the Acolyte is finally over. In this final mass of disparity, all of the crazy characters we followed along the way have come together for one last adventure at the same boring planet we've been stuck at for 3 episodes now. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. Before I do though, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss the next episode. I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
We begin this episode with extensive dialogue between Osha and Smilo Ren, furthering their bond with one another. And for whatever odd reason, the both of them decide to seek out Sol on Brendok together. Why she would want to go with him, I do not understand. I guess love blinds us. Before their departure, we see Darth Plagueis, master of Darth Sidious, the being so powerful and so wise that he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life, lurking in the shadows. It is without a doubt that we can determine that if this series continues, we will see him discover this ability through his analysis of the records left by the disgusting witches on Brendok. If this revelation does not shine as a bright red flag to you, it certainly should. In case you were wondering what's going on with Sol, while on his way to Brendok, May escapes his grasp and flies away in an emergency escape vessel. As Sol pursues her aircraft, he is so very close to blowing up her ship when Basil pulls a stunt and disables his attack. Whose side is this rat on? He has no relationship with May whatsoever and was a witness to her master's slaughter of all his Jedi friends. What is going on with this rat? Anyways, the two eventually land on Brendok, and Sol concerningly searches for her as he moans her name throughout the ruins of the coven. It is through these halls where we receive yet another compilation of callbacks to the various infuriating scenes from episode 3. They certainly didn't anticipate how game-changing that episode would turn out to be for the entirety of the Star Wars franchise, as well as its bolstering motivation for the anti-Disney Star Wars movement. This episode also features our favorite soy boy several times, and yes, he is still enamored by the unyielding and intimidating Green Lunch Lady of the Jedi Council. It is here in Coruscant where Green Baldy receives a particularly insulting preach from a no-name senator that despises the Jedi Order. His rant covers his concerns with the religion that the Jedi project upon people in the galaxy on their high horses of moral superiority. I have a bad feeling that this scene exists to insult Christianity and the mission that Christians have to preach the gospel. After listening to the pissing pot complain, Green Baldy and Soy Boy gather another company of generic faceless Jedi to assist Sol on Brendok and arrive a little too late. If only they could have arrived any sooner, maybe Sol would still be alive with his balls intact. I'll get to that shortly. To no one's surprise, the twins reunite yet again, but this time they are mad at each other and go full-on kung fu in the same room that Osha was almost fried to death in when she was a kid. It is here where May tells Osha that Sol killed Mommy and that he's a very evil man. He's very evil. And Osha doesn't really believe it yet, but soon she'll understand. Not far from the insufferable twins, Smilo Ren and Sol lightsaber duel for a bit, reflecting some of the more recognizable choreography from previous duels from the Star Wars series. With a lot of effort coming from the two, Sol eventually schools Smilo Ren and has him at his mercy. But wait, May arrives to save the day! Yippee! Without even trying, May throws Sol around and disarms him, no problem. At a standstill, she demands that Sol must pay by telling the world that he is a liar. He's a pathetic, weak, feeble man who must pay the righteous way. Now, Osha approaches the scene, and Sol pleads with her and offers his sincere sympathy for the mistakes he had made. He forwards his honest intentions that he had wished to protect her from a dangerous place. Through his efforts to communicate his perspective, Osha slowly force chokes him for the next minute and a half. On his knees, he attempts to say that he loves her when she kills him mercilessly. You guys realize that she is the main protagonist of this series, right? Even though there is not a single reason anyone should be interested in or invested in her character, she has been lightly built up as the quote-unquote good guy to follow. And now here she is mercilessly demasculating and murdering her father figure on the spot. This death was utterly disgusting. And yes, she is the first one in live action to bleed a lightsaber red. Ooh, so cool! Flashing lights, bright colors, wow! Disney Star Wars has really got it! After this, Osha, May, and Smilo Ren escape the scene together and meet by that stupid tree we keep seeing from episode 3. It is here where the insufferable twins devise a plan of escape with Smilo Ren. May, being the perfect, amazing, beautiful, flawless acolyte she is, decides to have her mind erased and left for the mercy of the Jedi, while Osha and Smilo Ren leave together. I don't have any idea why they all didn't just go together, but whatever. There's only 5 more minutes left of this train wreck. The Green Lunch Lady and the generics eventually capture May, and we discover that the Baldy has some sort of previous relationship with Smilo Ren. Arriving back on Coruscant, the Green Baldy lies to a board of random important politicians that it was Sol who killed all of the Jedi in the episodes previously, and that he was the one stirring up the mess. And of course, I know you are dying to hear the end of Osha's story, right? Well, it's not the end. It's only the beginning. Together, Osha and Smilo Ren look out upon a dreary day, holding hands, pondering a future where this dumpster fire sees another season. And now here we are, mourning the loss of a great franchise. And that's something so special about Star Wars. We all have different stories of how we got introduced to it, what it means to us. A lot of us grew up with it in different ways. It spans generations. Isn't that exciting? There's not many things like that, really, that are still relevant anymore. And, a lot of people grew up with the originals. I grew up with the prequels and the originals. And I feel bad for the poor kids nowadays that grew up with the sequels. That's a terrible introduction. But even worse, kids nowadays that are watching this, this could be their introduction to Star Wars, the Acolyte. Isn't that a horrifying revelation? I feel so bad for them. Parents, keep your kids away from this series. It's not getting any better. There's no signs of that. Dave Filoni, I really like the Clone Wars. It's such a shame that he let this slide, because he has some sort of higher position at Lucasfilm now, and I think he would definitely have some agency to push back against some of these horrible moves Leslie Headland was making, canon-defying moves. But no, he didn't do that, or at least nothing showed from it, because here we are, and the devastating remains of what the Acolyte has done will be in Star Wars forever. You can't really undo that. So if she gets a second season, which wouldn't really surprise me, it's only going to get so much worse. I can't even picture where it could go with this. So at this point, we're just watching a dumpster fire from the distance, and it's so painful to see, because we all hold Star Wars dear to our hearts in different ways. I think something that was particularly infuriating for me was seeing another demasculation and butcher of the only decent character in this series, Sol. A lot of people, especially in the earlier episodes, a lot of people really liked Sol. I didn't care for him very much, but even making these videos, I kept watching his clips over and over again, and I was really starting to like him. And the last few episodes, he's just gotten more weird and more weird. And he made those mistakes. We all make mistakes. He was apologizing for them. He was trying to explain them. And it was an accident what happened, what he did. And here he is. He's tortured. I mean, he is being tortured. He's being choked on his knees. He's being put on his knees in front of May or Osha. I get them mixed up so much, because now Osha wears May's clothes and May wears Osha's clothes, and now May is good and Osha's bad. So I get easily confused by that. But whoever's Osha's choking him or whatever, it's ridiculous. It was terrible and absolutely unneeded. And I don't know what this series has to gain by breaking down this character, because we've been following Sol for a while now, and they're breaking him down. They're making him pathetic, weak, and wrong. He's wrong. And the only protagonist left in the series, who is that? So we've been focusing on Osha. She was the protagonist. Not really anymore, but she also is, because we're supposed to be happy when she escapes and she's with Chimere, Smilo Ren. So I guess she's still the protagonist, even though she killed him in cold blood. Who else is there to name? There isn't really anyone. The Green Baldy, aka the Green Lunch Lady, she's obviously not good either, because she's lying about Sol, and she's about to lie, or actually, I don't think she's even lying. I think what she's about to do with Yoda is I think she's going to tell Yoda everything that happened, and that yes, there is a Sith. I don't think she'd go to Yoda to lie to him. I don't think that's going to happen. And if, for whatever reason, if this series gets another season, we could see that explored. Isn't that such a sad discovery that Yoda knew that there was a Sith this whole time and nothing was being done? Wow, it's insulting. It's insulting, and they can only ruin Star Wars so much more by doing this stuff and ruining these characters that we've all grown to love. Who doesn't like Yoda? Everybody likes Yoda. A lot of people like Baby Yoda. A lot of people don't like Baby Yoda. Everybody likes Yoda. There's no reason not to like Yoda. Another big problem with this series and the finale here is it continues to confuse young audiences of what is moral. the Jedi are now supposedly immoral because they're doing all these things, and we see quite a few Jedi making these mistakes and are now somewhat immoral characters, even though through the originals and the prequels, they've all had really high moral structure, and they really fought to protect that and to show others to be moral like that, and the fruits that come from it. But now they are immoral. We now see them in a light of them being immoral. Now we see Osha. We now see her, who is the good guy, turn bad, and she does this horrible thing, but we're still supposed to think she's good. What are kids supposed to think watching this? What are they supposed to take home from this? There's no hope in this at all, and there's no positive messages that come from this whole season. And the kids, this could be really damaging. This could cause them to seek out more dangerous paths in their life, which sounds ridiculous, but I mean, poor kids, they get influenced so easily. You never know what could come from it. And I must say, I wish I could erase my memory at the end of this. Please, viewer, do not watch this series. It only ruins Star Wars so much more for you, and it's just pure pain. The whole time I'm just in agony watching this show. I don't know how a lot of YouTubers do it. It's infuriating, and it's so cringy. It's as cringy as it can possibly get. You just have to trust us. So don't give Disney your viewership, please. Don't give them your money. Just check out YouTube, see what people have to say. With all that being said, I appreciate you for watching my video. I haven't been doing YouTube very long. I'm a newer YouTuber, been doing this for just a couple months, but I've been having a really good time, and I'd love it if you join me on my YouTube journey. Now that Acolyte's over, I'm going to be focusing more on the new movies hitting the cinemas, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of the great classics of the olden days that I think you should check out. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss the next episode. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.